Hey guys, good morning, good Tuesday morning. It's about 10:30, quarter of 11. Today I'm doing a video uh, to let you know of an incident, not an incident, but a life lesson that I learned back in 2022. This video is going to be about the American way versus the Filipino way. Now, let me give you some background on myself. We moved here full time August of 2024, and that was our first time getting here to live. But prior to that, I had been here 14 different times for visits. And my whole background, I've always been in management. I was a business owner. So if you're from America, one thing you understand is everything's about time and money. I was always on a dead run. I had employees. I had 120 employees at one point in time in my career. And I was always preached time and money, cut payroll, make numbers. It's the American way. I don't care what you do. That's how it is over there. So, it was ingrained in me from 15 years of age right up until I retired. I didn't know any different. So, when you come to a different place like here in the Philippines, it's very easy to want to judge and make changes. And I was guilty of it myself. I mean, I would always be looking around like, well, that could be, if we could do it this way, it'd be much better, easier, more efficient, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't realize I was really doing it either until one day, back in 2022. We made a trip over here to visit my wife's family, and she was doing an addition onto her house, and she had a worker there, a construction worker. He was like the foreman. And this saw here, this circular saw, is what changed my whole outlook on the Filipino way. And what happened was I was sitting there, I was watching him do his work and working on the house. And he was cutting everything by hand with a handsaw. And I told my wife, I said, hon, I said, yeah, let's go down to the hardware and home improvement store, and I want to buy this guy a circular saw. It's going to make his life a lot easier. He's going to get a lot more done in less time. Here's the management part of me kicking in. With no regards to him and his feelings and his thoughts. So my wife says, all right, we'll go down. So I did. I bought this exact saw right here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is the saw I purchased. And I brought it up and I'm thinking myself, oh, I'm happy. I'm going to make this guy's life a lot easier today. I'm going to help somebody out. So I got it, I unboxed it, I brought it over to him and said, here, try this. I cut a piece of wood with it, showed him. He looked at the saw, he looked at me, and he just shook his head no. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't know what to think of it. So I asked my wife, I says, he doesn't want to use the saw. Do you know what that's all about? And she asked him. She says, well, how come you don't want to use the saw? Blah, blah, blah. And he told her, he doesn't speak real good English, or didn't. And he says, I'm scared. And so she told me. And at that point in time, I said to myself, is he scared or just doesn't want to use it? So I was thinking the latter, that he just doesn't want to use it. It's not his way of doing things. So I picked up the handsaw myself and I cut 3 pieces of wood using the handsaw. Well, he looked at me, he looked, and he grinned from ear to ear. And it was right then and there I knew it. I said, you know what? I tried to impose my way, American way, onto the Filipino way. And guess what? They don't like that. That's not what they want. It's no different growing up in America, and then you have some foreigner come from another country into America and try to impose their way of doing things upon you. You'd kind of look at them and be offended. Most people would. That's human nature. So I thought I was doing something good, and in actuality, I learned a lesson. At that point in time, I told myself, I may have opinions, but the opinions are mine only. I'm not going to try to impose my opinions on somebody else. even if it's going to save them time. I had to get out of that mindset of time management. And it's not easy to do when that's all you've done your whole life. But I embraced his way of doing it. And you know what? That's the Filipino way. You know, there's a lot of things they do different here than we do in America, and that's fine. The bottom line is the end result. How do you get to the end result? So what if it takes more time? They don't care about time here. And if you spend any time in the Philippines, you will understand that, know exactly what I'm saying. The only time I think they're in a rush is when they're on a motorbike or in a vehicle. That's the only time I ever see Filipinos in a rush. And that's a true story. You get on the road, and you'll have bikes pass you left and right in every direction. But you get into a restaurant or something, you're going to be there an hour and a half. But that's neither here nor there. So the whole bottom line is, don't try to impose your way. Come over here, sit back, take it in. You're a guest in this country. They don't like outsiders coming in and trying to take over their country. I've seen it a million times. But that one particular day with this circular saw really changed my whole outlook. So yeah, back in 2022 when that occurred, I changed my whole outlook on everything as far as trying not to, I'll give my opinion if somebody asks me, but I'm not going to offer it to anybody. So it's just a little advice. If you come over here, it may save you a little bit of, embarrassment in a way, because I went out and did all that, and it kind of got thrown in my face. I was never offended. I just didn't understand. So think about that when you come over here, or if you're already here. Your way isn't always the best way. The American way isn't the way they do things in the Philippines. So I hope this helps. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon, you'll get all my videos, and hit the like button. And everybody, thank you very much for your support. I'm getting a lot of great comments and commenters lately. I appreciate all you guys and what you do. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.